Hi, it's Miss Best from Best Online Tutoring, and I want to show an example of long division, polynomial long division. We have the example x squared plus 2x minus 6 divided into x to the fourth power plus 3x to the third power minus 5x squared minus 8x plus 6. Notice both polynomials are written in standard form, and the highest exponent is written first. So we always want to make sure that is done first. Also notice that there is a variable for each term as we go down in exponents. So we have x to the fourth, then we have 3x to the third power, minus 5x to the second, minus 8x plus 6. If any of these exponents were missing, for example, if there was no negative 5x squared, and we just skipped over to negative 8x, you need to put a placeholder in order to do the long division. So you would put 0x squared if something was missing. So let's start. X squared, we're going to take that term and see how many times it divides into x to the fourth. And another way of thinking of it is writing it as a fraction. Usually when students write it this way, they get it correct. So x to the fourth divided by x squared is going to be x squared. And I'm going to write it over the x squared term. Once we do that, we take this, just like we did in elementary long division, and we're going to multiply it. Okay? X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. X squared times 2x is 2x to the third. X squared times negative 6 is negative 6x squared. Okay, so we write it underneath each term with the same exponent, and then we subtract. I always want you to make sure you understand that this subtraction is distributed across the entire polynomial. So I like to put parentheses. Some students will just automatically change the signs of everything. So we're subtracting this entire polynomial. X to the fourth minus x to the fourth is 0, so that cancels out. X to the fourth, 3x to the third power minus 2x to the third power is x to the third power. And negative 5x squared minus, so that minus is distributed to that minus, so it becomes a plus. Negative 5x squared plus 6x squared is a positive x squared. Then we're going to bring down the next term, negative 8x, and we start the process all over again. So x squared divides into x to the third power. Again, if you want to, you can write a fraction. We can see that's going to cancel to x. So positive x, then we take that positive x and we multiply it by that polynomial. So x times x to the second power is x to the third power. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times negative 6 is negative 6x. And we subtract that entire polynomial. X squared, x to the third power minus x to the third power, that's going to cancel to 0. X squared minus 2x squared is negative x squared. And negative 8x minus, so remember that negative is distributed and becomes a positive. Negative 8x plus 6x is negative 2x. And then we bring down that last term of the 6. And we do the same process again. X squared divides into negative x squared, negative 1 times, negative, and then we multiply. Negative 1 times negative x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times positive 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 6 is a positive 6. And then we subtract that. And we can see that everything's going to cancel out. So negative x squared minus minus becomes a plus, so that cancels out. Negative 2x minus minus, that cancels out, and 6 minus x. So that everything subtracts out, and you get 0. So there's no remainder. So our answer is when we divide these two polynomials, we get x squared plus x minus 1 with no remainder. That means that x squared plus 2x minus 6 is a factor of x to the fourth plus 3x to the third power minus 5x squared minus 8x plus 6. If we multiply, and some teachers, especially students who are in Katie, your teachers like you to write your answer as factors. So if we multiply these together, we will get the x to the fourth. Okay, so those two multiplied together will give you this. All right, that's just a quick review of dividing polynomials. Thanks, guys.